I'm trying to figure out why people keep talking about Jesus is about to come back. September 23rd, 2025. The Bible said, Jesus said, it's red lettered, okay? That no man knows the day nor the hour, not even he knew while he was on this earth. Nobody but the Father knows. And so I don't understand how people just coming up with all these mathematician ways of code angulating because they know more than God. Like, make it make sense. I suggest that we have a TikTok live party on September 23rd so that we could all witness the non-rapture together. Anybody here for the non-rapture party with me? No, but for real, God is sovereign. He could do whatever he want to do. He could come back whenever he want to come back. But on this topic, let's keep spreading the gospel because God said it's because of his mercy that he's been slowing down time so that we can get it together. So let's spread the gospel instead of spreading all these lies.
Next. Sorry for the wait. We've been planning the rapture a while. You think we would have staffed appropriately. Name? Don't you already know that? You really want to be the reason the line's even longer? Sorry, Dave Colombo. Okay, I'm seeing Sunday school, Catholic school, unbaptized. Yeah, sorry. It's fine, you've taken showers. That counts? Yeah, all water is holy. God made it. I don't think we knew that. Yeah, you guys got a lot wrong. Did you ever find the second coming of Jesus button? There was a button? Yeah, but don't worry about it. Okay. So what's heaven really like? It's like a Dave and Buster's with better chicken wings. Nice. Okay, so let's take a look here. 100,000 hours being selfless. 100,000 hours watching scrambled cable, so that cancels out. Do you want your hair back? At this point, it's kind of a branding thing. Fair enough. Do you have any questions about your life? Yeah, what skill did I always have that I never explored? Oboe. All right. And you would have been the greatest football player who ever lived. What? I'm sorry, we gotta keep it moving. So we can let you in, but it's gonna be on a visa and that'll be $100,000. Seriously? No. You see how silly that sounds? Have fun, try the chicken wings with the honey mustard dipping sauce. Next!
If that practice run red heifer sacrifice is actually the legitimate sacrifice and it's not just another evangelical Western rumor, because sometimes we don't actually know what we're talking about over here in America, then yeah, it might actually be cooked. Everyone's talking about there's going to be the rapture this year. Me personally, I don't think so. I just say that because I don't think that we can really put God in a box, but I do know that God does work off appointments, and Jesus did fulfill a bunch of other Jewish feasts, so it does make sense at the same time, but I'm just not really feeling emboldened to get up here and say, yes, for sure, September 23rd, Jesus Christ comes back at the rapture. I think that's silly. That's just me, though. I'm not coming for anyone who's doing it. That's just me. But if this red heifer sacrifice was actually the real one that took place, not a practice one, and it was only called a practice one to keep things low key, then yeah, I think we're seeing some real prophetic progression take place here. I mean, we got a blood moon on September 7th, solar eclipse on the 21st, right before the Feast of Trumpets, and everyone thinks the Feast of Trumpets is going to coincide with the rapture. Look, like I said, y'all, I don't know everything. But if this isn't just another rumor, just something to get people spiced up and everything, and that sacrifice that took place was the real one, it wasn't a mock, like or a practice one, like what we thought it was, like what they told us, then yeah, bro, I mean, be on your P's and Q's. We're looking like we're heading to that real nitty-gritty season where Jesus is going to be coming back very, very soon.
So if any of you haven't happened to be on the spiritual psychosis side of TikTok, people are saying that the rapture is going to happen tomorrow. And I know that obviously like there's been a lot of jokes going around because it's like, who actually believes this? But I would like to also offer a very different perspective on the way that this affects people. Growing up in Pentecostal, Southern, Evangelical Christianity, I was told that the rapture is a 100% going to happen thing and that it would likely happen within my lifetime. I was told that we didn't know when it was going to happen, that you had to be prepared at any given moment to leave behind friends and family who were not Christians and to not see them in the afterlife and to watch them suffer from like a higher vantage point looking down on earth. I don't think people understand how serious that can be and how many times something like this has happened where parents especially will decide to take the lives of younger members to make sure that they do make it to heaven with them, so that they are not forced to endure the rapture. And it is funny whenever you're seeing like all these videos and you're like, I don't understand how anybody even believes this. Like, this is obviously some sort of gimmick. But to a lot of people, it is a very, very real thing. And it really does affect you. I know for me personally, it fueled my OCD. I used to have night terrors constantly, worrying about being ripped away from friends and family, and that I was not good enough, that I would not end up with them, or that I would end up in heaven, but they would not be able to come with me. And so I think whenever we are discussing these, we do need to be really, really mindful of how dangerous this rhetoric can be and how harmful it can be, especially to young kids who do not have any choice but to be in those homes where they are discussing this. As a community, we should also be checking in on any friends, family members, neighbors, anyone that you know that may be prone to believing this kind of rhetoric and taking very extreme or violent actions even. I would also really, really recommend just staying safe, making sure that the people around you are safe. Love you all.
I just want to share some more thoughts about Joshua. That's the gentleman from South Africa who claims that Jesus spoke to him and told him that the church would be raptured on September 23rd or 24th. Now, I tend to believe him. Just to be honest, I'm not 100%, but I don't have any good reason to doubt him right now. You know, there's been a lot of people that I've seen online claim to be prophets and claim to be Bible teachers. And just for me, I'm not going to mention any names, some of them seem as fake as a $3 bill. And one of the indicators of that is when they're trying to get money out of me to hear more of their, precious teaching. Like, they'll talk for a little while, like, if you want to hear more, you have to subscribe, and there's a subscriber only section, or they have a book they're trying to sell me, or there's a seminar they're going to have, and it's like, I'm like, are you kidding me? You're talking about prophecy and how we're supposedly right near the end, and you're trying to get money out of me? You're going to make money like an obstacle that might keep some people from hearing your message? That doesn't square with a true man of God or a woman of God that has a heart for people, for sinners and the people of God. Jesus told his disciples, freely you have received, freely give. One translation puts it, you receive without pay, give without pay. Could you imagine some of the two witnesses going around and preaching the word of God to 144,000 ministering, and they're like, if you want to hear more, you gotta get our book. It's only $10.99, or you can subscribe to our Patreon. Hear more precious teaching. My point is that is one of the key indicators that I'm listening to a fake, or someone that is just disingenuous, and they're not really being motivated out of love to God and love to people and seeking to lay up treasure in heaven. They're trying to make a buck. And that's one of the things that I liked about Joshua. He doesn't seem to be interested in making money at all. And if he did, and he's a well-spoken guy, seems like an intelligent guy, one would think that he would have started talking about this much earlier in the year, where he can develop a following and maybe get people to start sending him donations or have a book to sell. But he has not done that, to my knowledge. The other thing I liked about him is that he was transparent with his mental struggles, emotional struggles. If you listen to one of the interview that he did with Medic for Christ, he talked about how, I think when he was a teenager, he tried to take his own life. He doesn't go into the details, but he mentions how God stopped him, from doing that. And that shows vulnerability, transparency. He's showing weakness, and that's something that I don't think a false teacher or false prophet would necessarily say, because that's pretty heavy stuff. Yeah. So that was something else that makes me think that he is legitimate. And also, most importantly, is his message. Listen to him talk for a long time. He seems to have a solid gospel, emphasizing the person and work of Yeshua, not looking to yourself for salvation. He believes in the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. He doesn't give the characteristics of a false prophet, from what I can see. So, but again, what will I say if this year comes and goes, there's no rapture? Well, he was deceived, delusional. I'll be surprised. And happens. It just, you know. But I'm fulfilling my responsibility right now to not despise prophesying. And Paul says in that same context to test all things. That's what I'm seeking to do. I'm seeking to test his message. He has a sound message about the gospel and God. And what he's asserting is in harmony with my own studies and the studies of other men and women of God. You know? And I don't have all the answers, so it's like, what are you going to say? Well, I'll be confused. I'm not omniscient. I'm just being honest. If nothing happens this year, I'll just be generally confused about him and be curious what he has to say. But right now, I don't see any reason why he would be making this all up. And what does he have to gain? You know, it's not like he's, to my knowledge, trying to get money from people. You know, and he's taking a lot of flack for his stance. Now, I could see if he was a false teacher, be like, his main goal is just to get money. Let's say, make a lot of money. And yeah, okay, so a lot of people think that I'm evil, but I got all this money out of them. That doesn't seem to be his plan, because he's not looking for money. So anyway, that's all for now. The other thing, as I've addressed before, some people have an issue with him claiming to see God, but the Bible doesn't necessarily imply that it's impossible to see God in like a vision or a dream, because Daniel describes God the Father and Jesus Christ, and John seems to describe God the Father as well. I believe what Jesus says, no one has seen God at any time, I think he's referring to no one's ever seen God the Father in his full glory. And I would assume that when it comes to dreams and visions that Daniel or John have seen, they are seeing a veiled, they're seeing God in a veiled way so that they're not destroyed in this dream or vision, where they don't see the full brightness of his glory. Kind of similar, maybe not the best analogy, but if it's possible to look at the sun if you've got, special glasses on and so forth, to block the full power of the sun rays, so to speak. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you.
watching this on the 23rd of September, then the rapture didn't happen today. Well, yet. This is 2 Minute Breakdown. Let's talk about why people around the world believe that the rapture is coming today. Okay, so a well-known South African pastor, Joshua Mkhakela, said that he saw a vision of Jesus returning on Rosh Hashanah between the 23rd and 24th of September, which is today and tomorrow. In an interview, he said, "I saw Jesus sitting on his throne and I could hear him very loud and clear saying, 'I am coming soon.'" Now, people have predicted the end of days many times throughout history. A NASA engineer predicted the rapture in 1988. Harold Camping, a radio personality, predicted the rapture in 2011. And you'll probably remember Marshall Applewhite, the Heaven's Gate founder who convinced 38 of his followers that the rapture was coming and to commit suicide by drinking a lethal combination of substances. You get the idea. There have been many predictions about the rapture coming that didn't come to fruition. But each time someone does predict the rapture, there is a group of staunch believers. And this time is no different. After Pastor Joshua Mkhakela made his prediction, the word spread globally. And many believers started to take drastic measures to prepare. People have been sharing rapture preparation tips online. People have been quitting their jobs. One Australian man even went as far as to sell his car, saying that he's catching a flight to heaven in September anyway. Now, there are a few reasons that so many people believe that this time's prediction is true. Firstly, the dates given fall over Rosh Hashanah, which is the new year in Judaism. Secondly, the outbreak of global conflict recently have many believing that the end of days is coming. Thirdly, people believe that Charlie Kirk and his death is a biblical example of one of the 2 witnesses that will die after offering their testimonies during the rapture. Interestingly, many believers are concerned about whether or not their pets will also be raptured. Evidently, this prediction has many people panicked about the end of days. And the fact that it has spread globally has definitely boosted Joshua Mkhakela's influence.
I feel like it's time for me to step away from TikTok. I feel like my story is over. I have been so blessed by this, and the Lord has done so much, and I'm so grateful to have been his vessel. And you guys already know, I truly believe with all my heart we will be raptured during Feast of Trumpets this year. If there is some chance that we don't get raptured, I will come back and make an apology video for myself being deceived, and that will be it.
What the fuck are we doing, people? You're going to be back here to apologize? Dude, that in itself just tells me that you don't believe in that actually happening. Which, I mean, why do we believe in that happening? Because of some forced narrative that's been at play for centuries that nobody has seemed to notice, even though it's been so fucking obvious, honestly. Same motherfuckers that victimize themselves, and then yet people want to think that they know what really happened during World War II. And then to say that Charlie Kirk could be the 3rd disciple? Did we watch the same memorial? I don't even know if I can call it a memorial, honestly. What Stephen Miller said in itself is just extremely shocking, but it's just like they're preparing for something. It just feels very eerie. Then you have a 3.5 mile wide asteroid that's coming really fucking close to Earth come, I'd say, around November, late November, early December, that all of a sudden is being chased by 7 different comets that came from behind the sun. What the fuck is in those Epstein files, man? I mean, what the fuck is happening, bro? There is so much shit happening around the fucking world right now. And I know everybody's instant fucking, well, not everybody's, majority of individuals in America, let's just say that, have this opinion. They're just like, well, it's the end of time, man. You got to get ready. We're still going to go work our 9-to-5s, though, and labor ourselves in hopes of actually being able to reach retirement, even though we want to be brought up in the motherfucking rapture. Walking little fucking contradictions. Walking little ants that keep having their fucking anthills be fucking dragged. Because every single time that there is a great and mighty anthill, that anthill always ends up being destroyed. So rapture? No, but a gigantic shift in collective consciousness. We are all awakening, which is what we should have done after what I can't even really comment on what happened with Charlie, because everything just feels off right now. But that in itself, that entire event as a whole, should have been an eye-opener for everybody. And everybody should be able to see that there are 2 sides to the same motherfucking coin by now. Exit yourself outside of that sheep mentality and start noticing what should be obvious that's been happening in front of you for well over, I mean, honestly, this point since the fucking 60s, since what happened to JFK. And then with that, people still don't even have their fucking eyes open.
Do you motherfuckers realize who created our U.S. history books to begin with? Let's just fucking ignore that shit though, I guess. What the fuck? Awaken your mind right now, people. This collective energy is so motherfucking strong. And this is the time to take back what is ours, not theirs, because we have the motherfucking numbers. Stop looking forward to a rapture. Stop giving into their narrative. Stop giving them what the fuck they want. Focus on what's important, which is bringing each other together in this period of which we are being forced to divide. It is not that hard. Just look to your left, look to your right, and see people as equal and as bleeding the same way as you do. Just like what you should be doing for the innocent women and children that have fallen victim to what so many of you don't consider to be a genocide. Feel empathy for once. Feel human for once. Please. Like at this point, it's just like, why? Like, why is it so hard? You can't even listen to somebody else's opinion, but then you want to state yours, even though your opinion has been formed for you. What the fuck are we doing, people? Honestly, what the fuck are we doing?
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Ha ha! Life goes on.